were you a founding member? Or
No, I'm not a founding member. Ed Wells was the founding bass player. I actually saw him playing with the band. I went as a fan, right? And then Ed had a terrible, like, kind of chainsaw accident, which he survived, of course, but he couldn't do the gig anymore. And so I auditioned. I think it was at the old pub near the university. Is where my audition was.
Awesome.
Yeah.
So what about this band made, you said you were a fan. What about the vibe that they were bringing to their performances or their songs that resonated with you?
They were just like some of the best musicians in Toledo. It really looked like they were having fun. It was great. It was kind of alternative music and R&B. Steve is real charismatic, tons of riz. It was just like, I don't know, I just was kind of in awe of the guy. So a super nervous kid going in with a goofy bass. And just funny enough, then once I got the gig and Ed recovered and he came out to watch us, right? So one of my first gigs at primetime, I think, Ed was like right in front of me, just like standing there with his arms crossed, just staring at me. And I was just like sweating bullets, like playing. It turns out that he's like one of the sweetest and gentlest like guys I've ever met. And we got to be like best friends, amazing guy.
Yeah.
But he definitely can put on like a kind of a bear kind of vibe.
Very cool. Funny. So I guess speaking of him, why is it important for you guys to come back together, this Friday to honor his memory?
Yeah, well, I mean, obviously it's going to benefit the Toledo Performing Arts School. And I just think Ed is like an important part of Toledo music history. You know what I mean? And Love by Millions is also like a big thing. And it's kind of what got me on my start in music. And yeah, it's just good to remember the legends. And to me, Ed's a legend.
When's the last time you were with, all together? It's been a while, but when was the last time you sort of were with some of these folks and were able to play with them?
Yeah, I'm going to really go way back and say it was probably 1988. This is the last time I saw George. And I see Chad and Dave sometimes in Minneapolis. And Tim and me hang out a little bit. He lives up Northern California. But George I haven't seen since then. Steve I don't think I've seen since then either.
Wow.
So 88, yeah, back we had electricity then, right? And we all got together and yeah.
All right, so what was it like the first time you guys started rehearsing or jamming together?
I like I said, I am still in awe of these musicians, and not only are they super talented, but they're really funny and intelligent. So just to sit here in a room with them and throw some jokes around, it's like one of the greatest moments of my life. Like I'm having an absolute blast.
Excellent.
Yeah.
So what would you say to folks? Obviously, there's a group of people who are excited and ready to go on Friday. But what would you say to folks they're looking for something to do?
Yeah.
Why should they choose?
There's a little bit of music for everybody. It's a family-friendly kind of event. Come out and support a good cause. If you don't know Ed, you'll learn a little something about him, right? And know your history and your Toledo legends of rock and roll and rhythm and blues. Come on down and support local music.
Excellent.
How did he get his?
Yeah. What got you into music? What got you into playing the bass?
I guess just seeing some rock and roll movies. Song Remains the Same. The Kids All Right by The Who. And I was like, I want to be that guy and stand up there. So I started taking lessons and I hung out in a lot of music stores. Our mutual friend Greg Leonard worked at a music store and I'd be sitting there playing. He's like, you play all right. He's like, I know these guys that need a bass player. Cool. You know what I mean? And he sent me out on 3 or 4 different auditions, like the Exciters and the Movers. And then finally, he's like, hey, Love by Millions, Ed has a problem, they need a bass player. You know what I mean? So that's when I grabbed my Steinberger, you know what I mean, the goofiest bass in town, and showed up with this terrible haircut, which I'm known for, and came in and yeah, we just hit it off.
Cool. Awesome, man. Anything else specific you want to make sure you stay on camera while we have you here?
No, just like I said, make sure you come down Friday night and support the arts.